We move forward with Corey Majors, who at the end of that segment brought up a tweet from John Morosi. Am I correct?
John Morosi had a kind of a series of tweets, actually, where he said, hey, this guy's going to become available with the Pirates, and it was talking about McCutchen. And then he followed that up with the Rangers are a team to keep an eye on. And then he followed up with a confirming the Rangers have broached the possibility of acquiring McCutchen. The deal would have particular interest to Texas if at least one pitcher is part of the deal.
Okay, the one pitcher is very interesting here. There are two pitchers I bet the Rangers want from the Pittsburgh Pirates. One, I will start off with Mitch Keller. Who's Mitch Keller? He is a starting pitcher, right-hander by the way, who has 99 innings pitched this year. He has 113 strikeouts and 26 walks.
And so that's got to put him among the innings pitched leaders, too, since we were talking about
in the American League, only two pitchers have thrown over 100 innings. So I didn't look up National League stats.
But still, he's got to be in the mix.
He has a 3.45 ERA this year. He is 27 years old. He is a guy that will not be a free agent for a while. And when I mean for a while, I'll get the specifics right here as I go down to his baseball reference page. 2026 will be his earliest free agency. So if you're looking for a
2.5 years,
a guy that can replace Jacob deGrom for the next few years, you're looking at Mitch Keller. And so this is a guy that you would have for this year and 2 more years after. Now, the other guy is Bednar, who is their closer, David Bednar. He has 4 years left, so this year plus 3, and he has a 1.5 ERA, has 15 saves, 30 innings pitched, 3 walks, 34 strikeouts.
And Mike, his typical, he's a 223, 261, right now 150, and he's about 77. It's about 70 strikeouts a year from that spot.
So about a strikeout per inning in his career, an ERA that's in his 2s. He's having a great year this year. He's 28 years old and has this plus 3 left. So, hey, this starts making a lot of sense for the Rangers. Pittsburgh's 1-9 in their last 10 games. They're well under 500. They're in a pretty crappy division in the NL Central. But if they start looking at it realistically, they didn't think they were going to contend this year before the season started. They got off to a good start and have been playing worse and worse and worse as the season has progressed. So if you're looking at Andrew McCutchen going, what do we need Andrew McCutchen for? You don't really need him that much. When you look at it, he would be your DH, probably left fielder splitting time there. Great team leader, great team guy.
What if, all right, let me ask you this
question.
But
he's not the major piece the Rangers are looking for from Pittsburgh.
Well, you have a left fielder right now in Ezekiel Duran.
Great offensive player. Who you do have to replace in the 7th, 8th inning when you're winning to try to have better defense.
And sometimes you have to give a little to get a little, and maybe you do get Andrew McCutchen back to replace Duran if he's part of a trade. I mean, would that be
I don't think the Rangers are looking to trade Duran, because when you're in a championship situation, which the Rangers are in, which is awesome,
you want to keep adding.
You try to not take pieces off of your major league team. You're trying to take pieces out of your farm system. But if all of a sudden you got Mitch Keller as one of your frontline starting pitchers for the next 3 years, which you're going to need. I don't know if I'm going to get into this with the doctor from St. Louis, sports orthopedic surgeon, who's going to talk about the likelihood of DeGrom actually coming back and actually being good is not high percentages. If I don't get to it here, I'll get to it in Mike Likes It.
Okay.
But if you can get Mitch Keller, if you can get David Bednar in a trade, and you add Andrew McCutchen, if I'm getting all of that, a starting pitcher for the next 3 years, my closer for the next 4 years, and then a veteran piece who's going to have a leadership role and probably not be worried about a big situation. In a big situation, I'm going to be like, hey, Andrew McCutchen's not going to fail because the situation's too big. He's just going to fail because the pitcher makes good pitches and gets them out. And he's not the same player that he was when he was an MVP. But if I get all of that and I have to include Ezekiel Duran to get it done, I do it.
Okay.
Because what's more important? Ezekiel Duran, who is never going to play second base for the Rangers, never going to play shortstop for the Rangers, never going to play third base for the Rangers. When you look at those guys are locked in.
He's an everyday hitter right now in your left field spot.
Left field next year's probably Evan Carter. Evan Carter has come back to Frisco after being hurt, and he is on fire again. And Evan Carter next year will probably be an everyday outfielder for you. Where does that leave Ezekiel Duran in your future with the Texas Rangers? I'm not trying to push Ezekiel Duran out the door, but if a team says we need Ezekiel Duran for you to get a starting pitcher for the next 3 years, who would be your number 2 or 3 starting pitcher, we need to get a closer who's going to be your closer for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
You got to start thinking about, all right, how much more important is getting those two pieces than Ezekiel Duran? And I'm not saying, I don't know what Pittsburgh wants, but if you have to give Jack Leiter and Ezekiel Duran and a few other pieces to complete this trade, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in a heartbeat.
All right.
I think I've just made myself more of a contender. Yes, I've taken Ezekiel Duran out of my lineup. I don't like it, but I've even thrown back Andrew McCutchen to fill in that role in that situation. So I think a lot of people say, I don't want to include Ezekiel Duran. I don't want to.
Yes.
But if I'm going to get a starting pitcher who has 100 innings pitched, 113 strikeouts, and 26 walks with a 3.45 ERA, and I'm going to get a closer for the next 4 years.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that sounds pretty darn good.
From the 940, I'd rather trade Josh Smith or Evan Carter.
Oh.
Evan Carter gets scary if you just don't care about prospects.
Yeah.
Because he's a top 10 prospect in all of baseball. Nobody in baseball, just so people understand this, nobody in baseball thinks over the next 8 to 10 years, Ezekiel Duran will be better than Evan Carter. All 30 teams, all 1,000 scouts, all 30 general managers, they all believe right now, if you say from 2024 to 2033, who will be a better player in the major leagues, Evan Carter or Ezekiel Duran? You will get 100% answer of, I get what Ezekiel Duran is doing. I would rather have Evan Carter over the next 10 years.
Right now on the updated top 100 prospects, Evan Carter's 8, Ellie De La Cruz is 2. So like that kind of puts you in perspective.
Wow.
Of, if you just see when watching what Ellie De La Cruz is doing. By the way, Jordan Lawler's 7. So no.
Yeah, and Josh Smith is tough. Josh Smith is probably not, he can be traded and teams can look at him as a valuable piece, but not so valuable. Like, we need Josh Smith or this deal doesn't work.
Yeah.
He would be like, and the fourth guy in this trade is we want Josh Smith. But the first 3 guys will be people like Ezekiel Duran. People will really want Evan Carter, but I don't think the Rangers are trading Evan Carter unless the name is Shohei Ohtani. I will say, if the Rangers are getting Shohei Ohtani,
start that up again.
I think that Evan Carter would be part of that deal and only that deal. That's about the only player in Major League Baseball that I think the Rangers start throwing Evan Carter as a maybe around. If you want to give us Shohei Ohtani for Evan Carter and we throw in another piece or two, but nothing super special, done. So that's where Evan Carter is on your tradable players list.